to dive a little bit deeper into one of the verticals when it comes to marketing, which isn't actually spoken about a lot, which is SMS or text message marketing. So I'm pretty excited to talk about that, man.
It's super underrated, so I love it.
Yeah. So I guess to start off, before we dive into like text messages, why should we even talk about it? And apologies if our faces are covering some of this, but the main takeaway I want to have as we start is the campaign experience. You're going to have an extremely high open rate. Even now, the industry average is about 95% for open rate, which means people actually opening up your text message, and about 35% a click rate, which means that if you have a link, people will click on the link. And for people who are kind of new to marketing, who are just trying to get their feet wet in it, if you compare it to like email marketing, which is really the other part, the alternative, you're looking at numbers that are pretty much unheard of at this point. I mean, this is kind of what email marketing used to be back in the early 2000s, like when you got an email, depending on what age you are, but I remember life before the internet. So when I had an email account, I was super excited. Every time I got an email, I would read it. And it doesn't matter what it was. And there was no such thing as spamming. So you'd read every email. And it was a great opportunity for people to market and to send, offers and stuff like that. And we saw a good return on email. So that's where we are right now with text messaging. And I know, Jesse, you've seen a lot of like success with it at Nutrition Junction, man. If you want to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, it's at first I was a little not paranoid, but I was a little skeptical about it. I was like, nobody's gonna give me their phone number. It's like that's I just didn't think about it. Like I was super like skeptical. I was like, nobody's gonna give me their phone number, but people are giving me 9 times out of 10, people are literally putting their phone number in their order and not their email. So it just shows how irrelevant email is becoming. I mean, there's always going to be a place for it, but it's definitely not going to be as valuable, nowhere close to valuable as text marketing. So before we dig into this, I know people watching this and listening to this are going to think the same thing I did. They're going to be skeptical, like nobody's going to give me their phone number. So you'd be surprised how open people are, especially with their phone number. It's crazy. So we use it for a lot of different things, for deals, exclusive product launches. We're supplement retailers, so we have a lot of new product. So when a new product comes in, I give the VIP text community 24 hours to grab it before anybody else does. So it's kind of that exclusive, kind of cool feeling they get. So
good. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of merit to it. Now there is some caveat as well, and which we'll touch upon here in the next one. So now what? So now okay, so text messages work, right? You send out a text and people read it, people are going to click on it. So that's the biggest thing with marketing. And here's, just to add to what you were saying before, I always say, you have products and you need distribution. If you don't have distribution, it doesn't matter how good your product is, no one's going to see it. And with distribution, we're not just talking about being in a retail store, but also having an audience to which you can present your products, right? If I have the greatest movie ever, I have Steven Spielberg come and direct it, and I have Martin Scorsese, all these guys like come together and like bring all of them together to make the phenomenal movie. But if I don't have a theater to show the movie at, or if I have no like place where anyone can see it, the movie is useless. Like no one's seen it, right? So the issue that we're having for marketers right now, you have a product, now you want to tell people about it, now you're sending emails and no one's opening up the email, right? So you can have great copy. You can take all the courses on copywriting. You can have a good offer. You can have 90% off. No one opens it, then you're in trouble. So with text messages right now, we have an environment where people are opening up those text messages. So you have a bigger likelihood of people actually converting and becoming part of your audience. Now, knowing that though, like after what I just kind of touched upon, we call this arbitrage in marketing. Arbitrage basically meaning that you're in a vertical before anyone else is there and you can take advantage of being like the first mover. So that's really cool. But of course, I've always said that the past happens to be one of the most reliable indicators of the future. So we have had this scenario already happen with email. There's this Can Spam Act of 2003, which was signed under the Bush administration. And the idea there was, well, we have to be careful. We can't just randomly start spamming people. Of course, there's a lot of arguments either side, whether this was actually a useful law or not. But the concept being, we have to start implementing measures where people can't just like spam. And then, everyone knows sometimes like, your friends will send you an email, or like someone from work will send you an email. It comes in your spam. You're like, wait, I didn't want that. I didn't want it to go to spam. And the reason why is because people are sending so much spam that those companies like, Google and Microsoft that owns Hotmail or Yahoo, they're just saying, guys, we're going to have the best spam filters, because if we don't have good spam filters, people are going to stop using our service. So they're stepping in, even though legally the law isn't maybe as strict. The email service providers are stepping in, and what they're doing is they're blocking emails from coming in, and they're blocking it so much now because there's so much spam that they're even blocking, like, I mean, I have like people from my family that I just can't reach me because it all goes to spam, you know? So I wanted to quickly touch on that.
Yeah, the email servers they're getting better. Like every single email server I've seen, Gmail, Yahoo, every other thing I've seen, they, as you said, the filters are good. So like if I send a sale, it's going to end up being in your promotions folder.
Yeah.
You have to go through your promotions folder to even see it. So the odds of somebody even seeing it now are really low. So it's for that not to show up in the promotion folder, that person's gonna have to like religiously click on that email. Then it might show up in inbox, but even then, the spam filters are so good or bad now that the odds of somebody seeing your email is like down here. So.
Yeah, I with this too, a lot of people say, well, there's going to be a law about SMS and text message in the future. I was like, no, that already happened. So the TCPA, which is the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, that was passed during the time when people used to do telemarketing, which is, I find that the most annoying thing in the world. I get phone calls I don't know, it's like increasing now. So I get like, so now the phone services will like scam likely or something. So, it's some, I don't know, some third party person calling you. But the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, which is for calling someone over the airwaves, it applies also to SMS and text messages. So that means that there's already some sort of framework in place to protect people from getting already like too many texts. So there are certain laws that are already in place. And that means that a couple of things why we're talking about this in the slide. Number one is that you're going to have to be careful. And it's very easy that at some point, so many marketers are going to know about this and start abusing the system, that we're going to be back to square one, and where it's going to be like email, it's going to be totally useless. However, I think that telephone companies are going to act more quickly to stop this from happening, because a cell phone is very personal, and text messages has always been used for kind of personal messages between people, individuals. So they're going to step in my opinion, is my opinion, they're going to step in much more quicker. So there's already a couple of laws in there, not to go into too much of detail, but you can send text messages after a certain time of the day, depending on when the cutoff is. Usually it's 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, or 10 o'clock. It's somewhere around that time where most services will stop text messages from going out. So you can't send text during that time. And oftentimes they'll block it in the weekends, and they're going to add more days and stuff where that's going to happen. So already laws are in place. So the worst thing you can do right now as a marketer is to ruin this for everyone. And we'll talk about how you will accomplish that.
Yeah. The other thing, you have to give them an option to like opt out. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. And if you're an e-commerce store like myself or even you, I know I modified my like checkout language, since there's so many people that were adding their phone number. You have to clearly state, like right under their phone number, this is what I did. I clearly stated, like, click this box if you want to sign up for text marketing. And I made it like, you have to make it stupidly clear that like, if they give you your phone number and they check this box, checking this box is going to do this. And then of course, so.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's one part of it is just like, I'll get on it. So there's this mentality, right? So when you hear about like Jesse kind of speak, okay, so I just got to give them an opt-in option, an opt-out option, unsubscribe, and I just got to text them between a few times the week, which I can, and earlier in the day. Okay, cool. What can I get away with? I speak to quite a few people, which I totally disagree with, which is the concept being like, what can I get away with? Like, how much can I put in there? Like, how much clickbait can I do? Like, what can I put, like, to just clickbait people? Yeah. And the problem is that this kind of race to the bottom is a very short-term mentality, and it will ruin it, not just for you, but for everyone. Yeah. So right now, text message service companies, which is not just the services, we'll talk about the providers that allow you to send the mass text, but also telecom companies, they're both working together. And the telecom companies, what they're even doing is, if you use profanity, if you use anything, they'll block your message from going through. So there's a lot in place. I want to keep emphasizing that. So what you just said, Jesse, is that that's like a given. But beyond that, you have to think about, okay, what actually is the right thing to do? And it's not about what you can get away with. Marketing has changed. And I put something here, which is a new marketing concept, which talks about permission marketing, which means you ask people permission before you can speak to them. So before I'll cold call people, like, hey man, I have this offer on a robocall, I'll ask them whether they're interested in my service before I start bombarding them with shit. This is a totally revolutionary thing. Back in the 80s, 90s, 70s, this was just not happening. You would just go on the street and people randomly approach you to start selling you shit. This stuff does not work anymore. And so one of the things that people this new kind of in the digital wave are used to is they're used to being asked permission. They don't want to be spammed. They don't like that stuff. The bullshit meter is extremely high. So thinking about, well, what does permission marketing mean? For me, it means is like, would you feel comfortable sending this message to a friend as a text? Like, would you randomly text your friend just random spam or like without any explanation, like what the hell is going on if they don't know what it is about? If the answer is no, it doesn't fall under permission marketing.
Exactly.
So I guess, and I want to get your thought process on this as well, because both of us, people will say, well, it doesn't make a lot of sense because if you're selling like consumer goods, like what are you going to check up on people? Like you're going to provide them value? Like what is it? Like how can I even do any of this stuff? I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I got to make profit, right? So, I want to take a step back because like what I put on the slides, like when do you actually text your friend? Like when you text your mom, your sister, your buddies, I don't know, whoever you're texting on a consistent basis, anyone that you're close to, you usually text them, hey man, what's going on? Like check up on them. You offer them help. Like if they're going through a tough time, hey man, like let me know if you need anything, I'm here for you. Or most people will share something entertaining. So like if you have a meme or if something funny, or it's like something like interesting on the internet, you saw like a screenshot, something relevant about content they care about. Now this can also tie into if I care about supplements and if I find a certain deal would be valuable to me, then you can push that to me as well because I find that valuable. But this is subjective. So thinking very closely about when you would use text messaging generally with your friends is the way I would suggest you should use it generally when you're texting your consumers. And I want to hear from you, man, about how you use it and what are your thoughts on this? Because obviously you're in the retail space.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, you got to remember it's 2020 and people their bullshit meter is, as you said, high. It's like people can sense bullshit from a mile away. So if I only texted people about sales and like just strictly that, which is nice, but if I only text people like sales and stuff like that, they're probably going to opt out. So if I don't like relate to them, like just how I said, like in a previous video we did, how I posted a video of like me playing Call of Duty on my Instagram.
Yeah.
People just freaked out because it's like I guess they freaked out that I do normal people stuff too. I don't know, but people like that. Like even if it's as simple as sending like a GIF or a meme or whatever of Top Gun or whatever it is, it's people they like that stuff. So you always, as this says, you always want to text your customers to kind of like they're your friends, because if you just text them with some salesy BS, they're going to be like, who the hell is this guy? And then they're going to text stop to opt out and you're going to lose them. So you have to be relatable. And we'll kind of go into this later about segmentation. You can segment your messages. So like say if somebody only buys protein bars from me, I can segment them and other people that only buy protein bars and only text them when it's applicable.
Right. Yeah, no, that's crucial. And I'll ask people is like, do you text in real life? Because sometimes I get text messages and I was like, you never text, do you? Because it's some like dude, like, and somewhere in a cubicle who's is just not a social person. And they're like, if they're writing text, you're going to have a super hard time, like coming with like, how do you talk to your buddies? Like, do you send out DMs normally? Do you send out emails? Like every single platform has a different language, has a different culture. It's like going to a different country. Every country has their own culture. And like, if you are trying to get people to find value in what you do, you have to understand the culture and assimilate as best as possible, right? So Instagram is its own culture, email is its own culture, Facebook is its own culture, so is YouTube. They all have different cultures, and so does text messaging. And so what you're using on one platform cannot be done on another. You cannot copy paste like something that would purely be an email or like a tweet or like an Instagram post straight to text. Could it work? Maybe, but like it's not the right thing to do. So like marketing is tough because you have to do work. Like this concept of like I can do one piece of content and just share it everywhere. That is actually not the case. You can use that content and repurpose it. So the word is repurposing. It's not the same thing that you can push everywhere because in some mediums it's just not going to make any sense. So you're addressing, like when you write an email, like when I write a text to someone, like you're kind of a little more shorter because it's called short messaging service. When I write an email, you have to have, hey, you write the name, then you sign off. That's the proper way to do it. So every platform has their own thing, and so does text messaging too. So think about consistently how you would text your friends. So we do a couple of things here at Azet. So I send out, try to do valuable things on there, like how to provide people with value. So like right before like New Year's, I'll be like, I'll go to a pain point that we're having. Now, you're going to touch upon this. So the text message service is segmentized based on what people are looking for. So we have different keywords. one of the keywords we have has to do with people who are looking for accountability. Like, hey man, do you need accountability in life? Do you want to get to the next level? And people text in that keyword. And then we nurture those people further. So like I had one thing where right before 2020 started, I did a couple of days, like 13 days before 2020 started. I was like, send me in a text about your goal and I'll keep you accountable for 13 days. Like every single day I would text them a message. I was like, hey dude, what's going on? How can I help? And like people loved it. It was a huge success. So I'm doing a GIF where I'm just like, that this was an Instagram post as well. Or like recently, this was covered on another video we did. People are having this. We have another keyword for people who are business owners. And so business owners, like they probably have a question about how do I continue scaling during these trying times? And I'm like, okay, don't worry, I got you. And I pushed them to the Instagram platform where we're going to do Q&As for people. And so that gets a lot of, traction because people are looking for this kind of content. So when you go back, this question is going to be like, okay, so what are people looking for? Segmentize them and provide them value to them. So either entertain them, make it funny, make it something that they want to share, and make it something that they care about. Like, what's a problem your buddy has? So say you have a mom, like your mom has like back pain, and you go on Facebook and you see like this ad for like a back pillow cover. I'm like, oh, hey mom, and I'll just send it to her. Or I see an article about like how to maintain posture. So when you're sitting all day during the quarantine, you're sitting in front of your computer, like people have back pain. Back pain is one of the biggest complaints right now. So I'm like, oh, that's a cool article. Then I share it to my mom because my mom has back pain. So like, I want to share that to her. So think about like relevant content for your audience and making it funny and entertaining. I think that's crucial. I want to see your 2 cents on that. If you have any ideas around that.
The biggest thing people can I know my tech service does. Most tech services have an option where people can text you back.
Yeah.
Like you, your IG Q&A, if business owners had questions, they could legit text you back.
Yep.
Now, a lot of people don't know that. So maybe send in a campaign like, hey, how can I help? Text me back. Let me know.
Yep.
Like this is an example. Gary V does his little tech service and stuff now.
Yep.
I can almost guarantee he does the little chat box thing because you can reply to him and he replies back. It's like a separate little chat window in your text. So you can send campaigns with that too. Like I know I did right when this thing started. I was like, how can I help? Blah, blah, blah. And people can text back, which people like because they know they're texting like the owner or who's ever running the business. So people like that. And that's probably one of the more valuable things in here is talking to your customers. Obviously you could talk to them over Instagram messaging, but it's like people are on their phone so much. They're a lot more apt to text you back rather than like hop on Instagram and message you on Instagram. Yep. So,
that's crucial. I'm glad that you mentioned that because that's a point that we didn't really go deep into, but you can have people text back, like foster community and this is exactly true. A lot of times people will not comment on posts because they don't like to so they'll go to DMs, or if you give them a texter, people use that all the time. Yeah. So the amount of people that text in for like random shit, like you can just respond to them, and you can respond to them on your phone. Like it comes as an email, you can respond back, whatever text service you use, or you can respond to them via the platform itself online. So that's a really good way to do it. I want to give people examples because people sometimes are watching this. Okay, give me an example. Like, how do I even promote this? How do I ask people for permission? Like, how do I tell people about the service that we're doing? So I'm always really big on, you got to be entertaining. And so we try to do that. So I have a couple of examples here. So I got my man Jesse here. So he does a lot of this stuff. He does a lot of entertaining stories, and these are like responsible for most of our acquisitions where people say, "Oh, this is valuable." So he does videos like this.
Check it out.
So I'll call him. We'll make. Hello.
Hey, Jess, we're wrapping up this epic text that we're about to send out, so let's get it on the gram.
Dude, I'm going to be honest, man. I was just filming some great content. Is there any way, you could, 10 minutes or something like that? Buy me some time?
Time waits for no man, dude. Time waits for no man. I need this done by tonight.
So Jesse, he goes and goes to get food, like takeout food. And then, let me see where he went. So what we do in here, this sounds really random, but this did really well.
Take a dive deep down into my phone.
So he takes you in his phone.
Check it out. So you can get the text messages like this, right? So we talked about Kim K. Awesome person. Anyway, so you can get this message like this. Now check this stuff out. Look at this shit that Prady writes. Now, I don't know if this guy thought he was in college or like taking a college class or what, but my man fucking wrote an essay for you guys. This shit is dope. Breaking down all of, Elon Musk tactics of how he actually scales for companies, how to be productive, all that shit. Straight to your phone. That shit's fucking insane. So keep watching because I'm going to show you guys the best way to easily sign up now. A few moments later. Got my face mask on, my little nose thing here. So, keep your face clean. So let's go to Instagram. Who's this good looking? Yeah, that's me. A great looking guy. Anyways, let's go to Instagram. So we're going to go to the ASOS page. So you see that text button right there. I want you to tap that text button, both international and US people. Tap that text button. Now, when you tap that text button, you can send this message right here. 1%. Click send. Boom. That's it. My friends, we're going to get you into, hey, I'm filming a story here. We're going to get you involved in the text message service ASAP. All right. So go ahead and send that message now.
So that obviously did really well because it's really funny and it's like super engaging and it doesn't take like a lot of work to do, but people like engaging. What is he doing? Obviously, Jess is a very entertaining character. Like we're kind of different. That I'm like really serious. He's very entertaining. So when he does stories like that, we do in our stories. He'll tell people, hey, join in, and he explains people how to do it. He explains people. So we got one of our most number of signups through that. And then we do other stuff too. Like we'll do text messages like this.
Yeah.
Guys, what are you still waiting for? Click on the link and get some shit done. Time waits for no man.
So people love that kind of stuff. And again, it's super easy. These are all Instagram stories. And so the idea being is well, how do you ask people for permission to join? And you need to tell people hey, if you give your phone number, which we think is very valuable, I don't give my phone number to anyone. I just don't like to give it to people, unless I can know you well. So it's not, when I'm like thinking, okay, guys, like we want to have a text message service pool, my first thing was like, well, I don't, just like you, I was like, I'm not going to give my phone number. So like, how would I ever ask that for my customer? I don't want to ask. For me, it's like, I'm like a customer too. So I'm like, why would I give my phone number to anyone?
Yeah.
So like, what conditions would I have before I give my text service number to like some service? So number one for me is like, I need to know that person, like what they're doing with it, who they are. And I need to find it so valuable that I'm willing for them to interrupt my day with like random shit. Whereas with email, I give it away really lax because, dude, I woke up today and I had like 40 emails that were random. I don't know who the fuck they are. And I just don't care. I'm like immune to it now, so I don't care. But with text messages, it has to be super valuable. So you have to explain people what the value is consistently. So that's like one thing we're doing. That's what Jesse's doing here, making it entertaining, but also explaining to people like what the value also is. That's one part of it. Another part we realized early on is that people don't know actually what to do. They have no idea how to sign up for something like this. So you have to explain to them exactly like how to do it. So we consistently explain people like how to actually sign up for this service. This is one part that not a lot of people thought about. They're like, okay, well, what do I do? What number do I write? And so we would make videos just like this. So you write 1% and then text feedback. So you want to make the acquisition as simple as possible, because if you tell people, sometimes they don't understand like what they have to do. And one of the issues that many people are going to face is that you're going to talk about it on Instagram, right? And on Instagram, you're on the app. Now you need people to go off the app and remember the phone number. Like I'm on my phone right now. It's not like, because when it's on email, it's easy. You might be on your desktop and you're like, okay, what's the number? I got to text. Now it's on Instagram. Now you're like, wait, what was the number again? I have to go back on the post and go back to my text service. So we realized this was actually a big problem for people. And what we did then is that you can put the text button in your Instagram and you can do that in there. And it's very valuable. If you're a business on Instagram, you can do this. I mean, there's no like requirements for this. And then you can put that in there. So you make the acquisition of the lead quite easy. Most people know what it means when you say, hey, text blah, blah, keyword to this number. But a lot of people, they forget what the number was. And then they have to go on their text service to find out. So like doing small things like this can make a big difference. So providing people value, entertaining them, telling them why they should trust you, and then making it easy for them to actually sign up. Because if I find something that's very difficult, I don't trust it. It's one of those things. So
yeah, the best thing about those videos is they're relevant. Like even something as simple as ending the video with your car. I don't know if you guys have, but I'm assuming you got car freaks like messaging you guys about the car. So that's the best thing about those videos is A, it was relevant, and then B, and then back to this permission. You have to make it simple, like as you said, simple as hitting the button text. That's like as stupid simple as you can make it. So it's a lot better than having people text like a 10-digit number, because obviously most people are on Instagram on their phone. So you just gotta make it easy.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's crucial. One of the things I didn't put on this slide, the first text that you send out, if you this is personally, but I recommend it. We're implementing that too, is to just remind people what they signed up for and like what they're going to get. I mean, you always have to send a first text, but if you immediately start, if someone texts into the service, they don't hear from you for like a week, and all of a sudden you just start sending them shit. They're like, wait, who are you again? Because people can go back on email. See, when I get an email from a company, I don't remember what the first email was, but if I get a text from a person, I can scroll up and see all the text messages they've sent very easily. So in case people forget after like a month, like, wait, who is this again? Then they can scroll up, be like, oh, okay, that's where I got it from. An email, that's not possible, because I'll have to go in my search and type the company name. I'm like, what is the first email about? On text, it's very easy and collapsed. So I've always enjoyed that process. So I always remind him like, hey man, you joined this service. This is what we're going to provide you every single week. And you're also going to get some more discounts. You're going to get all the insider stuff that's coming out. And we're going to give you like a tip every week, how to crush it in life. They get it. Okay, cool. Now they know what this is all about, because otherwise they're like, wait, I signed up for like billionaire hacks, and now I'm getting like pushed to like for a product you guys are doing. Wait, what is this about? Like, I don't get it. But if you tell them up front, they're going to get that as well. Like, tell them up front what they're going to get. Like, don't hide, don't sneak it in. Yeah.
There's been people that it's kind of surprises me, but they're like, I'm not getting anybody on my text list. Like businesses like tell me this. And I'm like, well, are you telling people what they're going to get? And it's like, if you don't tell people, like there's a few ways you can like market your tech service, like website pop-ups. So somebody goes on your website and like a little page pops up saying that subscribe. If you don't tell people what they're going to get, like if I don't tell people signing up for our text community gets you exclusive deals, early access. If you don't tell people that, and I just told them, hey, sign up for our text community, everybody's going to like give me the finger, not do it.
Yeah.
That's what it's for. So it's like, if you don't tell people what it's for, A, they're going to get pissed off. B, your list is going to be zero because they're not going to know what they're going to get. Just telling people to text this number to this, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more, man. So that's super critical. So I know you feel very strongly about this, man. So you want to take people through like segmentation automation, what that even means, and then we can go into in some depth.
Yeah. So segmentation, we hit on it before, but segmentation is crucial. Like for example, if I have people that only buy nootropics, and that's all they've been buying for like 6, 7, 8 months, then you can segment to them on a whole separate list and only send like nootropic related stuff to them and focus related stuff. So you can segment in almost every way possible. If they spend under $50 at a time on the site, you can segment to them that way. And also if they spend over $200-300 at a time, you can segment that way. So that just reaches people better. Like if I don't, like say if you don't segment and you just send somebody who only wants protein bars, if I send them stuff about pre-workout, nootropics, they're going to be like, what the hell is this guy sending me this for? And they're going to opt out, and you're going to lose them. So segmentation is crucial to better target your customers. If you don't segment, you're losing out on a crucial, easy tool. So there's that. And then automations, obviously every business owner knows there's automations within email and text services you can use. We kind of gave an example on the right side here. Yeah, so the biggest one is the abandoned cart one. That's the biggest one I've seen differences with the revenue and just ROI, and that's huge. And as you see here, open rates for automation in email is at a high for 20 to 30%, if that. And open rates for text messages for automations like abandoned cart is almost 100%. So it's definitely crucial to do that for automations. So it's crucial.
Yeah. And I guess the idea, which is what you've been touching on, is being personalized with people, because text message is a very intimate way of communicating with people. Usually you don't allow many people in. So when you are doing it to them, showing them relevant information. And the truth is, like every company, you'll have different offers. You'll have different things that you do. If you're a retailer like you are with Nutrition Junction, you have various supplements. You have in nootropic category, you sell stuff like Azad, then you have like pre-workouts, then you have multivitamins. The same people are not going to like the same things. Now, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't tell them about it. No, but you should segment them so you know what people are looking for, And you can do that with any business that you have. Like talk to your customers and be like, oh, okay, I think that person, they like entrepreneurship stuff. They like side hustle stuff. They told me that they like that kind of stuff. Put a tag on them. Like even if you don't know how to do that stuff, get an Excel spreadsheet and put those people in different Excel tabs. So I like the old fashioned way. When I was younger, I used to do e-com. Was right when e-com came. I would send people postcards, and there was no segmentation. So I would put them in an Excel sheet or in a Word doc, and I would write their names based on the interest and send them different letters to each. Nothing's changed. It's 2020. I don't know how many years that was ago. Nothing has changed. So I was like 15 years ago. Nothing's changed. The same. Now it's just easier, and there's a tool to help you with that. So what does that person like? Send them that. It's just same thing on your, I'm sure that all of you guys on your phone, on your WhatsApp, on your text message, have a bunch of people on there. You'll have your mom, you have your friends, you have your drinking friends, you have your business partners. Are you going to send a broadcast message to all of them? Probably not. You send a different text message to your buddy, you go out drinking, and probably to your mom or to your sister or your brother, or your grandfather, right? You're not going to send the same text that you sent to your drinking buddy to your grandfather. It makes sense. Like you would never press broadcast. You can actually send broadcast through WhatsApp. You can send everyone on your contact the same message, but how often do you ever do that? No, that's a joke. People joke about it when they send the wrong text message to someone else. It happens. It's the worst nightmare for anyone, right? You don't send the wrong photos to someone else. So why would you do that when it comes to email marketing as a business or with text marketing? It makes no sense. It's the same thing. So not all your customers are interested or want to see all that stuff. So segmentize, and they'll like you for it. It's extra work because I know it's awesome to be like, oh, I got everything automated and I can just press one button and everyone gets the same thing. It's easier, but also you're not going to get rewarded for it. So this is going to be work, and it's something that you'd have to spend some time on.
Yeah, exactly. And there's different, like, as I have, like they can text subs and join my like general list, but you can give me your keywords like you guys had the 1%. There's that, and you can just make so many different keywords to make sense. So
yeah, a lot of platforms right now allow for like different keywords. Sometimes you have to pay for it. Again, I mean, text message, like there's a lot of tools and platforms you can use. I mean, there's PostScript, there's Easy Text, Attentive, Slick Text, Twilio. There's different types of platforms you can use. If you are interested in one of them, just let me know. I might have a code for you that you could use. So you can send me an email. That's my personal email. Again, I wouldn't give my phone number on a YouTube video, but I do give my email. So that's an example of that. So if you have questions about getting on to any of these, just let me know. We can hook you up. But that said, though, they're all the platforms have their own. You have to find out what works best for you, and you should definitely do a cost analysis because you're going to see the credits run out really quickly. So you want to make sure that you do make some revenue because it is expensive. It's not like it's free. Email, people think it's quote unquote free. Obviously, you also pay for that, but it's cheaper than text messages. So you want to be cautious for that. And I think sometimes it's a good thing because there's been conversation. Should we make text message services the same as like email campaigns, which are pretty much free unless you go to over a certain amount? And I think that's not always a good idea because again, the barrier of entry is going to be very low and you're going to have every Tom, Dick, and Harry sending out text messages. So it might be better for everyone that you have to pay for credits. That way you're not spamming people and you're going to be very intentional about what you send out. Like you're not going to be like, I'm going to send out random shit every day because you're like, I'm going to be intentional what I send out. And the companies that do send out a text every day, like we were doing for a bit, we put a budget to it. And we know we're doing it help the right way, and we're trying to do it the right way, and that's why I have a budget for it. But all the different tools and platforms. I don't know if you have any comments about. I know you've used different tools. If you have any comments about any of these or any that you've used that's not on here.
So the text service I use is SMS Bump. It's through Shopify, but I mean, as Prady said, all of these are very similar, and they can all help. And they can all help you. And what's nice about this is, as you said, text messages is a little more expensive than email. So I've had people that have huge stores and they make like their company does really well. And they're like, I'm not going to do texting. It's too expensive. Like it's literally versus like for my email, it's like $20-$30 a month to be open about it. And then, for text messages, it's like when I started, my list was around 100 people and it would probably cost me $9-$10 to send a campaign, which not a lot of money, but there's some people who literally like have businesses that can definitely afford to spend $9 and they're just like, that's too expensive. I'm not going to do it. It's like, if you see the ROI on it, like we showed before, the ROI for mine these past couple months was like 16,000%. It's like, and you don't want to spend $8 to send a text. It's just, so it's kind of nice how that gets people out of it too, because they don't want to spend the money to do it. So it's, yeah. something to remember too.
Yeah. So, but the goal again, just like with anything, while it's easier to get into it because you have some arbitrage, you got to be good at it. Think carefully about some of the things we talked about here, and we have both of our companies here and like our own VIP community, stuff like that. But before we close, I guess I wanted to preface that again. So you have to think about, what would you text to a friend? When would you yourself be comfortable giving your number? Like what would be the barrier of entry for you? And then use that same standard, for others. Because I know a lot of business owners like, oh man, no one wants to sign up for my emails. Like, would you sign up for this email list? Probably not. Like, you don't give your email to anyone, so why would anyone else do it for yours, right? So think about what's the barrier of entry, and like be platform specific. Like, go back on this slideshow that we just had and really think crucially about what kind of, if your campaigns are not working, are you being entertaining? Are you giving people real value? Are you being personalized? This is text. This is not email. This is not Instagram. Like, this is a totally different platform. This is not, I know people who treat it like Instagram. Instagram is your page. People come on your page. They don't have to come on your page. When you send a text, you go on their phones. Your behavior when you invite someone to your house versus if you go to their house is different. When you go to their house, you play by their rules. If people come to your house, they have to play by yours. And you try to make the experience the most awesome for your guests that come to your house. But at the end of the day, it's your house. Whereas if you go to someone else's house, I'm like, okay, I'll follow their rules and norms. You like wait until dinner is served. You don't go in their fridge like, hey, where's the fucking dinner? And you raid their fridge. No, it's like you wait until dinner is served because that's their house, right? I'm assuming that's what you do. So text message is same way. You going in someone else's phone, and it's 10 times more intimate than an email. So be very careful. I also think, and to add to that, be careful because you can piss people really off. I've had some people send me messages as business owners, like what kind of responses they've gotten from their customers, and it's been pretty brutal. And people can hate you for life for doing that. So I hate telemarketers for fucking life when they do that shit. I'm like, you don't respect me and my time. I'll pick up a phone and there's like a silence. I'm like, oh shit, it's a robocop. And I feel like I was scammed, and I will never do business with that company ever fucking again. So think about it carefully before you start doing this. And they will remember you because there's not many players doing this. So they'll remember you. This is not like email. So just be careful with that stuff.
Yeah, you got to be relevant. As we said before, you can't text somebody who doesn't like. You just got to be relevant in what you send them. You got to segment. You got to let people know if you actually want people on your list. You got to let people know what they're signing up for. Like, you can't just expect people. I've seen some companies like they email me saying, "Oh, we have a text community now." It's like, sign up for a text community. It's like, what am I signing up for? Like, you're not giving me a reason to sign up for it. So you have to give your customers a reason to sign up for it. You can't just tell them to do this and expect them to, because as you said, phones are personal. Phone numbers are personal. You can't just expect somebody to sign up by saying, "Hey, join the VIP text community," and not give them a reason. It's like, from us, you're getting deals, product launches, early access. So you're getting all these things, and you just can't expect. I think it's kind of insane and asinine for a company to expect somebody to sign up and not tell them what they're signing up for. It's like,
yes. And I can emphasize that there was a while actually where a lot of the big tech companies were getting sued because they're using people's information right without consent. And so they did they're like, okay, we're going to talk to our customers. So like, if you're talking big tech companies, they hire like big consulting firms, and most customers are like, no, you're fine. You can have our data. We don't even want to get paid for it. Take it. But what they said is just let us know what you're doing with it. That's fine. You can sell my data, but just let me know what you're doing with it so I can at least consent what's going on. And it was very mind blowing because a lot of people in the business community be like, oh man, like these customers are going to be, they probably want like royalties for all their data. They want to be paid like thousands of dollars. And well, I think that's, that could be an idea by itself, but a lot of people just want to know what you're doing with it. And if you provide them equal value back, then it's like, okay, then we're even. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not going to ask, hey, can I take your data? Can I mine it? Can I potentially sell it? Can I telemarket you and harass you every single day? I was like, no, like, oh, of course not. So you have to be like, well, what am I getting? It's like, okay, I'm going to give you all this information that you can't get anywhere else. It's something super exclusive. I'm going to help you save money, get more time in your day, whatever it is that you're offering. Then it's like, okay, I'll think about it. Like, you want to get to the point where at least when you explain it to someone in your community or family, they'll be like, oh, okay, I get what you're doing. But if you sound like an asshole explaining it to yourself, then you're not going to go very far. So thinking about that, I think is crucial.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you got to give people a reason. You got to be relevant. There's so many things to consider when doing text messages, but it can definitely help you. Like, if you're skeptical on it, there's going to be people that's always skeptical on text messaging. Just try it, because you never know if you don't try. And it can it can definitely help you. You'd be surprised about how many people are willing to give their phone number if you give them deals or whatever it is you give them, tips, motivation. You'd be surprised how willing they are to give you their phone number if you provide them value. So
100%, couldn't agree more, man. So Nutrition Junction, the VIP community, can you tell people what they'll get when they join this this code and this number, man?
Yeah, so with us, you're gonna get exclusive deals. So like some sales we do. I just did one this weekend and last week before last. You're gonna get special deals that I don't post on Instagram. So the only people that find out about it is if you're in the text community, and I don't publicize it anywhere else. So exclusive deals like that, early product launches. So say like limited editions or whatever it is. If a product launches, I give the text community 24 hours. And there's been plenty of times where product launches have sold out just text community.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah, that's what you're going to get. Exclusive deals, sales, tips. I send tips out to people who it's a whole separate list and segmentation thing, and early access to products. So
awesome. Fantastic. So that's good. So what you're doing is you give people something they can't get anywhere else, and you're helping them save money, which is super valuable. And for people who are interested in supplements, you offer pretty like wide array of supplements, man. And I know your shipping times are pretty phenomenal, and I think you have a lot more variety than even on Amazon. So definitely tell people to check out Nutrition Junction. We do the same. We have different text groups, but one text group we have is Insider. You text 29071. From there, we will reach out to you and we'll ask you like what you care about. Like what is it that you care about? This is a whole sequence that we're setting up right now. We have an accountability group. We have a Slack group. We have a small business group. We have a nootropics group within there on a whole Slack that we've set up. So, and then we also have all the products that we're launching, kind of similar to what Jesse kind of mentioned. Is the same thing we're doing. We're giving people access fully to a full inventory. A lot of times, even we're just giving away the product for free, so you can test it out. So every time like we're testing products, you get to test it out too. And a lot of our customers have actually had a say in a lot of our products. So they'd be like, I think you should do this, you should do that. We also do contests for our labels. So we have a label, and then we have a general, like we have like 10 labels, and we send it to our customers, and you get to pick. And we show you what the results are of the poll, and whatever they choose, we make that our label. So we do that all the time. So people feel like they're part of it because they're a part of it. I mean, your company is run and managed and like it's sustained by your shareholders, right? So your shareholders are your customers. So giving them full access about what's going on. We've even gone as far as like we share our financials, how Ads is doing, how many units we're selling. So people get all of that. So by the time this video is fully out, you'll see further segmentation and providing a lot of value, man. So that's what we do. I know both of us do some really cool stuff. If people have any questions, they can reach out to us. I know they can reach out to, if you want to give people your Instagram handle, man, where people can ask you questions.
Yes. So my personal one's at Jesse Westover, JESSE, and then Westover. And then you can hit me up on Nutrition Junction 2 Instagram. It's just the Nutrition Junction, or type Nutrition Junction in. You'll see us pop up. So
100%, man. So yeah, same here. You can shoot, if you have questions about like this video, about like this specific video or other videos you want us to do, you can direct message Jesse at the handles he just provided, or you can just go to at Seeking Azeth, and you can DM us there, and we'll respond. It's probably, I don't give people my name because, not because I don't want to, because it's like super long, and it's better to just go to Azeth. So we'll do that. All right, man, dude. I think we had a really good time talking about this. I know we provide a lot of value for people, and I look forward to doing more, man.
Absolutely, man. Good stuff.